Welcome, dear viewer, to an in-depth guide on one of the most important and expensive pieces of gear you'll ever need when building an account. That's right, this is a cannoning guide. I know cannoning may seem straightforward, and a guide might be interpreted as useless, but cannoning requires some basic knowledge to implement effectively for reduced time to kill and decreased operational costs. Even if you are well versed in cannon usage, I suggest you watch through to see what you can learn. A cannon, or more precisely, a Dwarf Multicannon, is a members-only, placeable, multi-part piece of equipment that can be used to deal damage to NPC combatants. A cannon, comprised of the barrel, base, furnace, and stand, can be purchased from the Grand Exchange or the Dwarf Nulodian after the completion of the quest, Dwarf Cannon. This quest has no requirements and can take less than 15 minutes with luck and proper teleports. If a cannon is fully set up, it can be loaded with up to 30 cannonballs and set to fire upon almost any NPC. The cannon starts firing on its northern side and rotates 45 degrees in a clockwise fashion every game tick, firing once for each of the 8 arc segments that complete a full rotation. Such a cycle takes 8 ticks, or very roughly 4.8 seconds, and can shoot a maximum of 8 cannonballs. As the arc segments have areas that overlap, if an NPC has its southwesternmost tile, in one of these areas it will receive 2 shots. This does not increase the number of shots per cycle. This can be particularly useful in single-way areas. Target priority is given to non-double shot targets over double shot targets. For ammunition, cannons can fire steel and granite cannonballs. Steel cannonballs have a max hit of 30 and can be made at a furnace with a steel bar, cannonball mold, and 35 smithing. Each bar provides 4 balls and 25.6 smithing experience, and a theoretical maximum of 2,400 steel balls can be made per hour. If money is not a concern, they can be easily acquired from the GE at a maximum rate of 7,000 every 4 hours. Granite cannonballs have a max hit of 35, can be made from using granite dust on steel balls, and are untradeable. They require 50 smithing to produce, and have a soft slayer level requirement of 75 for obtaining the granite dust from the grotesque guardians. They can be made almost instantly and grant no XP on creation. They cannot be unmade. Once a cannon is loaded and set to fire, it will continue to rotate and shoot eligible targets for as long as it still has cannonballs, and will cease firing and return to a resting north-facing position once it empties. For each hit point of damage normally dealt, a player will receive 1 1/3 hit point experience and 4 of the relevant combat experience. For a cannonball, only 2 range experience is received for each hit point of damage done. However, note that the player will gain absolutely no hit points experience from solely using a cannon. Additionally, if a cannonball is fired at an enemy during the first tick of its time in-game, no experience of any kind will be granted. The firing of a cannon can be stopped manually by emptying the cannon. It can also be artificially paused by opening a number of in-game interfaces, like level notifications, bank windows, NPC dialogues, and skill menus. While there are many aspects that influence the efficacy of a cannon, proper placement of a cannon and proper character positioning are equally the most important aspects of cannon usage. An improperly placed cannon is as good as useless, while a smartly placed cannon can more than halve the time to kill, greatly increasing experience per hour. Standing away from the cannon will mean repositioning yourself every time you reload, and an optimally placed character means consistent cannon hits and little to no repositioning. Importantly, a cannon has a 3x3 tile footprint centered around where the firing stand is placed. If an enemy has their southwesternmost square within the 5 tiles that make up the north, east, south, western, and central tiles of this square, it will not be shot. Here you see the firing pattern highlighted on the ground, and the areas where a cannon can fire twice on one enemy. These areas extend 19 tiles from the center of the cannon. On top of accounting for the size of your targets, you must also consider the proximity of hard barriers, such as walls and rocks, as well as the spawn locations of your prey. In a flat, borderless field, This image shows the ideal position to stand for varying sized target NPCs, and it is applicable to the full 20-tile range of the cannon. However, this is not optimal for most of the in-game situations in which you will be using a cannon. Unfortunately, it is up to you to choose an optimal position to place the cannon and stand your character as situationally appropriate. Some spots can be optimized for fast task completion, while others allow for effective AFK. Properly placing your cannon in a single combat area will allow you to double the damage your quarry will take per rotation. It is an unfortunate truth that most of the preferred spots for cannon placement usually are suboptimal and are provided with no information as to where to stand. For example, when using a cannon in the Chasm of Fire on greater demons, it is slower to use the spot recommended by third-party clients because of the target spawn locations and the obstacles around the spot that prevent proper double hit luring. While the recommended spot does indeed result in faster shooting, this is only when not entered in combat and is thus only useful in niche situations. An additional example can be found at Bloodvelds in the Stronghold Slayer dungeon, where recommended spots do not consider the size and spawn location of the targets. Placing your cannon in the northeastern corner of the displayed room enables proper double hit luring consistently and means that player repositioning for every reload is not required. These are only a few of the many examples available. Before moving on to useful things to have as a cannoneer, let's talk about losing, breaking, and replacing your Dwarf Multicannon. If any piece of a cannon is in your inventory, it is at risk of being lost on death, just like any tradable item in RuneScape. Leaving your cannon firing or static on the ground for 25 minutes will allow it to break down for 10 minutes. If the cannon is not fixed within 10 minutes, it will permanently disappear, and you will have to return to New Lothian and have a chat to replace your lost cannon free of charge. This also applies to any cannons that are destroyed by NPCs. Placing your cannon in the wilderness follows the same rules. So remember, if you're under attack and don't think you can escape, make sure you have placed your cannon down. If you have left your cannon in another world, you can talk to New Lothian for a free replacement instead of going to retrieve it. Finally, let's move on to the last details of cannoning that will improve your experience. Chief among these is an ample supply of cannonballs. Good luck using your cannon without any. Next, you will want high accuracy in the combat and attack style of your choice. Cannons have a static max hit no matter the player's range level, but the attack bonus of your player's combat style is what is used to determine the likeliness and size of your cannonball's hit. While potions and levels will boost your damage per ball, so too will accuracy boosting prayers and high attack accuracy bonuses. It is worth noting that magic is not a good choice for cannon usage, as non-tridents only use the melee crush bonus of the player, and the magic accuracy of tridents can be very low. All cannon hits roll against the target's range defense, no matter the attack style being used by the player. Target-specific accuracy bonuses will not apply to cannon hits, but Void will. After equipment bonuses, third-party clients are the next step to upgrading your cannon usage. Many of them offer fast and convenient monitoring for ammunition levels, fire zone overlaps, and cannon decay timers. Note that many of the optimal cannon placements provided by these clients are incorrect. Lastly, prayer can be used for protection, or in the case of accuracy boosting prayers like Piety, Rigor, Eagle Eye, Mystic Might, what have you, for a slight increase in experience per hour. Cannons can be expensive to use frequently, but they are a fantastic addition to any scaper's arsenal and are invaluable for someone looking for effective play, time saving, and AFK.